Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is one of those videos that David thinks that he's come across something that's like really powerful, really special, and it's just so bad. Let's go through this together. Bismillah.
Perfect preservation, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect preservation. That's what our Muslim friends have been telling us for decades. Perfect preservation, right down to the letter, from the time it was revealed to Muhammad. Seeking evidence for this claim, we opened their most trusted sources, and we read about entire chapters of the Qur'an being lost forever, large passages being lost forever.
شو هذا كتاب فضاء القرآن? What's this? What's this? Who wrote this? هذا للقاسم, المستغفري, لابن كثير. He doesn't know he's even quoting. He doesn't even know he's quoting. But no page number, nothing. طيب.
Passages being lost forever, verses being eaten by a sheep.
Yeah, I have a refutation to this. Check it out on my channel. I'll put the link in the description.
Lost forever. How did our Muslim friends respond when we showed them that their own sources repeatedly declare that the Quran was changed over and over and over? They said, perfect preservation right down to the letter. Hatun Tash and Jay Smith went to Speaker's Corner with 26 different Arabic Qurans. Not 26 different translations, 26 different Arabic Qurans. How did our Muslim friends respond? Perfect preservation right down to the letter.
Okay, so I'd like to point something out. The reason why Muslims take that in such a negative way, why they accuse I don't know why they accuse Christians of lying about that stuff, is because you guys are just so deceptive. Christian apologists are so deceptive. If it's a Muslim who came out and said, hey, I have copies of the Qur'an that were upon different qira'at, like, that wouldn't be a big deal to Muslims. They'd be like, oh, okay, really? What's qira'at? Can you explain that to me? That's what would happen, all right? So I got a copy of my Hafs an Asim here. This is what most Muslims read. I picked this up a few years ago. This is Qira'at Shu'ba an Asim. And this is it's certified by the Al-Azhar, actually. And I think about a year ago I picked this up, which is Qira'at Abi Amr al-Basri. And this has a certification from Wizarah al-Awqaf al-Urduniyya, from Jordan, from the Jordanian government. And these aren't competing masahif. These aren't competing countries printing out these masahif. These are accepted by all Muslims as authoritative. And please go ahead, David, use this video, share it with your friends, and let Muslims know that masahif are printed in multiple qira'at, and Muslim apologists clearly say this, and they have copies, and they read this, and they recite the Qur'an with this, and they pray following these recitations. So this is not controversial. This has not ever been controversial. This has been standard Islamic information. This has been standard knowledge since the time of Rasulullah up until Up until recent modern times, when Muslims started to become so ignorant in the deen that they're not familiar with the existence of qira'at.
Fortunately, after decades of non-Muslims showing Muslims what's in their own sources and their own manuscripts.
Actually, the topic of qira'at, I don't know why David was acting as if this is something that's been shown by non-Muslims to Muslims. This is something that Muslim scholars have spoken about openly, and every single course in Ulum al-Qur'an will discuss these matters. So there's no hidden mystery or hidden narrative that's being uncovered. This is pretty much basic stuff for anyone that's taken an Ulum al-Qur'an course. Let's carry on.
After decades of Muslim apologists lying about the history of the Quran, there are finally some Muslim scholars who are starting to admit that there are holes in the narrative.
And it's very clear to you and to every single very advanced student and specialist that the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, that was a very vague statement by Yasir Qadhi. If he's going to come out and he's going to be more detailed about what he means by that, then please, Yasir, be my guest. I will not be going easy on you if you do choose to do so. However, that's your call at the end of the day.
It is wiser to not do a deep dive.
But let's focus on Dr. Shabir Ali, who has recently admitted that there are different Qur'ans in different parts of the world.
Today, most Muslims read the Quran in a text that is referred to as the Egyptian edition of 1924. That's how scholars refer to it. Most Muslims may not have realized that this is the designation for that manuscript, for that text. To Muslims in general, this is just simply the Quran. But this is not the only text of the Quran that is read throughout the world.
He's also admitted that there are differences.
This is nothing. This is not discovery, David. Western Africa has always existed. Western Africa has always read the recitation of Warsh. This is not a discovery. I don't know why David's making it out to seem like it is. Maybe trying to milk this one. I don't know, but there's nothing controversial here. And Shabir Ali didn't uncover any secret. This is basic stuff, man.
This is in Quran manuscripts.
So there was this period in which Muslims had the opportunity to teach others the Quran without insisting on the precise words. Recently, a manuscript has been discovered from Sana'a in Yemen, and it's referred to as the Sana'a manuscript. That manuscript has two layers of Quranic writing. The lower layer has been scraped off, and the upper layer has the Quranic text written over. Now, the upper layer text quite closely corresponds to what Muslims are reading in the world today as the text of the Quran. The lower text that has been scraped off has some variation from what Muslims are reading in today's text.
What's disturbing?
I'd like to comment on that, but instead I'm going to be linking you guys to the description below, where I've already spoken about the Sana'a manuscript and my thoughts on that and how it actually supports the Muslim tradition.
Is that even when someone like Dr. Shabir Ali admits that there are different Arabic Qurans, and even when he admits that there are differences in the manuscripts, the Muslims in the comments section are still claiming that all Shabir really means is that there are different pronunciations of the same Arabic words. That's all he means.
Okay, and any Muslim who believes that needs to take a course in Ulum al-Quran. Alright? The ahadith about the Quran being revealed in 7 modes, in 7 ahruf. This is something that is mutawatir. This is something known in the deen. The first example of this existing is Maliki Yawm al-Din or Maliki Yawm al-Din. Malik meaning the owner of Yawm al-Din, Malik Yawm al-Din meaning the king of Yawm al-Din, and this has nothing to do with dialects, guys. This has absolutely nothing to do with dialects. Take any course in Ulum al-Quran, except for Yasir Qadhi's friggin' course. That's going to be a waste of, it's going to rot your brain. But yeah, do that. Even pick up Muhammad Mustafa al-A'zami's book. It's very well written, and it includes the traditional view of what the qira'at and ahruf are. Inshallah, you will find it extremely useful and extremely informative.
No, that's not what he means, my Muslim friends. Feel free to contact him and ask him. Send a message to Dr. Shabir Ali and ask, Shabir, when you say that there are differences in the manuscripts, do you only mean that there are different pronunciations of the same Arabic words? Shabir is going to give you an education, because Shabir knows what non-Muslim scholars are finding when they go through manuscripts.
لا, it has not. This has nothing to do with non-Muslim scholars going through manuscripts. This again has been attested to by scholars of the qira'at for centuries, for over 1,000 years. This is not something new. I've made a video on this subject as well. If you guys want to check it out, please do so. It's about the topic of how the variances, some, of course, not all, but how some variances have different meanings and how they add to the eloquence of the text. Once again, the variances are not from man. The variances are from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were taught by the Prophet, peace be upon him. Yes, most have to do with dialect, but some have nothing to do with dialects. So check that video out.
Of the Quran. They're finding missing words, added words, changed words, words moved around, words written over, words erased. It's a giant mess. As an example, yesterday, Dr. Dan Brubaker, a textual critic of Quran manuscripts, posted a video where he shows a single page of a Quran manuscript. He shows that there are no less than 11 textual variants and corrections on that one page. And these aren't simply different pronunciations of the same Arabic word. Let me give you one example of what he means.
So before even getting into that, Daniel Brubaker has been making a name for himself for collecting scribal errors and displaying them as examples for the lack of preservation of the Qur'an. So basically, if any scribe in the history of Islam made an error in copying a word, then that means the Qur'an is not preserved. Let's check out the video.
From the video.
This is verse 6, 110. This part of the verse reads, Fi tuyanihim yatmahun.
Fishu yat'aburni.
He means from the video.
This is verse 6, 110. This part of the verse reads, Fi tuyanihim.
Okay.
Yatmahun. We let them wander blindly on in their insolence. And I've circled there the word that roughly corresponds to the word that we're looking at, tuyanihim, because in this manuscript the word tuyanihim does not exist. Rather, its place is taken by the word hauzihim. So it is an alternate word. If you
what?
Taken by the word hauzihim.
hauzihim? شو hauzihim يا أخي؟ خوضهم صارت hauzihim. طيب ما في مشكلة. Go on.
So it is an alternate word. If hauzihim actually
hauzihim
is used, as you can see in another verse, not too far from here in the same surah, then leave them plunged in their foolish talk.
Yeah.
So here at 6.110, with this alternate word, it has the reading of, we let them remain plunged in their blindness, or remain immersed perhaps in their blindness. It makes sense, to my understanding of the Arabic. It does make sense. It's just an alternate.
Now, the issue with that, Dan, I don't know if you've really learned much about textual criticism, but this is referred to as ditography, which basically is the mistaken repetition of a word or a letter by a copyist. That's all it is, Dan. That's all it is. And how do we know that this is just a mere scribal error and not an actual original Qur'an? Okay. Well, first of all, the word is repeated. All right? First of all, the word is repeated. And the fact that it's repeated implies that the copyist thought of the word that he wrote earlier and he rewrote it again. That's pretty much it. It's an actual this mistake, this form of a mistake is so common, it actually has a name. Ditography. Look it up, Dan. Alright? Secondly, how do we know that this isn't a part of the original Qur'an? Well, Dan, and guys, do check out my other video responding to Brubaker right here. This is not my first time responding to Brubaker. In any case, how do we know that this isn't a mistake? Well, because other manuscripts, some of which were written earlier than this manuscript, don't include this same mistake, don't include the word khawdihim, but rather includes the word طغيانهم. Alright, so let's check some of these out. So here, as you can see, طغيانهم. Here again, طغيانهم, 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 and
طغيانهم.
Alright, Dan, يلا يعني. How many years of your life did you waste gathering these scribal errors? طيب, let's carry on.
Alternate reading, a different word from what we have today.
Different Arabic words, different meanings, different translations.
Yeah, you see, the issue with David is he's been doing this for 20 years. I don't know how long, man. How long have you been doing this, David? Long time. You still can't tell when an argument is, like, terrible? David, just stick to the regular stuff. Stick to the regular stuff. Stick to Muslims or excuse me, the Qur'an is a book of terrorism. Stick with the Prophet ﷺ married more than 4 women. Stick to that stuff. That's like your level, yeah? When you try to support arguments that are this bad, it looks bad on you. Alright, guys, that's all I have for you folks today. Inshallah, I'll see you folks in the next one. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
طغيانهم.